Meet Kayla. Her friend Adam recently came out as transgender, but she's unsure what that means. Adam, happy to explain, lets her know that first she must recognize the difference between gender and sex in order to comprehend what it means to be transgender. Kayla is confused because she thought gender and sex were the same thing, but Adam informs her that they are very different. Sex is what everyone is biologically born as, male, female, or in some cases, intersex. In contrast, gender, which is separate from sexual orientation, is how we express masculinity and femininity. Think of a linear scale with femininity on one side and masculinity on the other. Instead of emoting one or the other based on sex, people can move throughout the gender scale freely and express various degrees of both at will.
Hey, that's some bullshit.
What about people who are non-binary? What about people who are gender fluid?
We're all male and female. We've always, yes, of course, we're all male and female. There are
What about transgender people?
There are a tiny minority of people who have intersex conditions, and there are a tiny minority of people who have some condition where they may have a female brain and a male body. Apart from this, we are all male and female, and the attempt to suggest that there is a third gender is, as far as I'm concerned, it's an ideological and a political project. It doesn't exist. The words male and female have existed throughout history, throughout the world. They refer, men are people who have penises, women are people who have vaginas. It's as simple as that. I would absolutely refuse to refer to this woman here, who's clearly a woman, as a they, because for me that would be imposing an ideological political system. Because she is. If everybody watching this programme can see that she is a woman. And that is imposing.
That's your problem. I think that's actually your
imposing.
problem. You're imposing.
No, you are asking me to engage in an ideological, political system which I disagree with. I believe we are all male and female.
And what they should be called is imposing an ideological system.
No,
I really want to come back and address
just
some of the scientific inaccuracies of your statement. It just is not true to say that on a biological level we are only male or female. Being intersex, which is a combination of 32 different ways your chromosomes can combine, is as common as being red-haired. But that's biological. Gender is socially constructed and performed and is separate to your body. It may align. You may have a female assigned or perceived body and be female, but you may not. I do not present in a masculine or androgynous way because I question the idea that to be non-binary, I have to masculinize my appearance. By you saying that you refuse to use my pronouns or refer to me as the gender that I am is one of the grossest acts of disrespect that I'm forced to endure on a daily basis. You clearly have no empathy or no respect for people like me or the wider trans community, and that immediately diminishes my respect for you as an individual.
Holy shit, is this bitch 12? She sounds like a prepubescent schoolboy.
Your respect for me is already diminished if you insist that I ascribe to some ideology of third gender, which I do not agree with. If this he and she is socially constructed, how come everybody watching this, everybody in the audience, can basically identify male and female just by looking? Occasionally there are people who are more difficult to identify. But it's not just socially ascribed, it relates to a physical reality reflected in our voices, our appearances, in all kinds of ways.
Gotcha, bitch!
I had to do a double take. I thought I was in the wrong bathroom for a minute.
That was great. So, when are you gonna have, like, the surgery?
Think about the children.
I just don't want to expose my kids to this, you know? Like, what are they gonna think? And like, what if they become trans.
Oh my god, you're trans? So does that mean you're actually a woman?
Oh my god, I've always wanted a gay best friend.
And you have a penis, but like, how? Like, does it work?
So how do you have sex?
Okay, so you're a woman who likes women, but you have a penis, so it's still like straight sex, right? Even though you're not straight, like the sex is straight.
I threw up.
Long hair and makeup doesn't make you a girl. I feel like this infringes on my rights, you know?
So are you a boy or a girl?
So when are you getting a dick?
Non-binary identities aren't real. They were just invented on Tumblr by special snowflakes.
But wait! There's more!
I'd never have sex with a trans girl, man, because I'm not gay.
Are you sure you're in the right bathroom?
I don't get it, so like, which bathroom do you use then?
I've never met one of you in like real life, you know? Like, you're real.
So are you just like a confused lesbian?
Oh sweetie, it's only a phase.
But you're not like wearing the makeup, so are you even really trying?
I just don't get they them pronouns, man. I just can't do it. Like, it's just not grammatically correct.
Sorry, the women's restroom is over there.
There's only 2 genders.
Sorry, the men's restroom is over there.
It's a trap!
Is it he or she or they or what?
That's so in right now to be like #gender fluid.
Where do you shop, in the men's or the women's section?
Or unisex?
Unisex! That word needs to die!
So what's going on down there?
None of your business.
I have had this many times.
It's this fixation to know they have to know because what they see is unclear.
People don't even bother to ask me. They sort of forcibly tell me in the street, you've got this genitalia.
And they can just go along and walk past people in the street and just sort of tick off like...
Vagina, penis.
Vagina, penis,
I feel less anxious now.
like,
your genitals have nothing to do with your gender anyway.
Yeah. Those 2 organs don't identify your whole life, and they shouldn't.
That's so trendy right now. #gender fluid.
I can see this person.
I mean, look at this coat.
I'm just like hip and down with the kids, you know?
We may have struggled to find the identity to understand who and what we are, but this isn't a fad.
Non-binary is like a term that people can use where I don't want to identify as male or female.
I don't identify with having a gender because I found it really restrictive.
I think the main issue just comes from the idea of people thinking that they can explain your gender back to you. So it's like, I'm non-binary, they're like, oh no, you're trans.
It's complex. I don't know, some non-binary people identify as transgender, others don't.
I don't think it's more trendy now. I think our existence is actually being recognised.
Yeah, we're actually being spoken about.
It's reaching people who are going to be confused, like I was, and they're going to be upset and not know what's going on, and they're going to see that word and hopefully it'll mean something to them.
So like you see someone and you can relate to it and you're like, oh yeah, lol, that's me.
Yeah.
What toilet do you use?
I kind of find myself having a breakdown about that on the daily.
Whichever one I please.
Like the amount of times that I've gone into women's bathrooms and it's like, oh, this is the women's bathroom.
This woman in Mackie D's, McDonald's, like laughed at me and was like, ha ha ha, thought you were a man.
And I was literally dragged out of the club by them and was asked, do I carry a card to identify whether I am trans or I should be using that toilet?
For life's bleachable moments.